What's up guys? So today I'm gonna be taking part in the Sports Hub Series 3, and this race was a 15 loop crit race, and each loop was about 1.2k and it adds up to about 18ks, and it was a points race. So what that means is after every 3 laps, the top 3 riders that come in the start finish line will get 5 points, 3 points and 2 points. So I'll be talking while the race is going on, so hopefully you will be able to get a better understanding of what's going on, and also that I can annoy you with my voice and my constant complaining and whining about how much pain I'm in during the race. So we just got flagged off and currently we are in the first lap. So usually the first few laps will be pretty hard because like some teams will try for a breakaway, and hopefully that will last the entire race for them. And it was a pretty hot day because we got flagged off I think about 12 p.m. So it was like the hot afternoon sun, and I think it was about 34 degrees that day, a bit of clouds, but it was still a pretty hot day. Yeah, just felt like so hot. So we are approaching the end of the first lap, and this corner I took a really wide line to hopefully stay out of trouble, but that also means that it will be the slower line and there'll be a gap every time I come out of it. So my main objective of this race was to stay in the pack and hopefully not get dropped, because I'm obviously riding with much stronger riders, and yeah, so just hope that I don't get dropped. So we've come to the end of the first lap now, and now we're on to lap 2. So coming out of each corner, everyone has to do like a little effort so that the gap doesn't grow too big between you and the rider in front. So like coming out of this corner, we'll have to do about 800 to 1000 watts, so just to bridge the gap to the rider in front. So I think the guy on my right chain dropped, and he let out like a really manly battle cry. So on the straights we'll typically be doing about 40 plus and sometimes maybe even 50-ish, depending on which lap it is. And I feel like this course is quite hard, at least for me, in the sense that after every lap, the first corner of every lap, it's a pretty sharp U-turn, so we will have to slow down to about 10 km/h, and we have to accelerate hard out of it to maybe 40-ish. Whoa, so that rider almost went down because he was pedaling through the corner, and his right pedal just brushed on the floor. Luckily he stayed upright though, if not that would have taken me down as well. So on the right there were some cones, and 1 or 2 riders went too close to it and almost brushed up on it, or maybe even brushed up on it, but luckily they stayed upright. So I had to swerve to the left just to make sure that they don't catch me out as well. And so that was the end of the second lap, which means that on the end of the third lap would be a point. So the bell rang to indicate that the end of the next lap you will be able to score some points if you're in the top 3. So that means that after the U-turn just now, there were some riders who would try to push the pace up on this straight so that hopefully they could score some points. So we'll be doing like high 40s and maybe even 50s going into the corner. So I got caught up. I won't say caught up, but I should have went past this rider to fight for a better position going to this corner. So right now I'm pretty far back, so it's quite sure that at this point of time I wouldn't be able to score any points at all. And on top of that, I took a really wide line, which was a mistake. So there was a big gap between me and the rider in front now. So I'm just sprinting to close up the gap instead of sprinting to score some points. So I'm not too sure who got some points for this lap, because I was pretty far back. And yeah, so for now I'm not dropped yet, so that's a win for me. So fast forward to lap 6. So this was the end of lap 6. So everyone's just sprinting for some points now, and yet again I'm too far back, so no points scored for me. So at this point of time I'm like in the reds, man. My heart rate's like 190, and I was just really hoping that they could ease up a bit just for me to recover, you know. But unfortunately for me, that didn't happen. Coming to this corner, they are still pushing the pace quite high, so I was kind of dying on the inside. So now we're on lap 7, and not even halfway through the race, and I was like dying, man. I was like dying inside so hard. It's like thinking to myself, damn, we're not even halfway through the race yet. So fast forward to lap 9. This was halfway through lap 9, one more corner to the start finish line, which riders could score some points. And yeah, at this point of time I was at like 190 BPM heart rate. It's dying. Took a slightly better line through there, so didn't leave too much of a gap. But they're just sprinting for points, and I was just like, don't drop me, don't drop me. So I'm not sure who got points, but I was still there, you know. I was still like in the pack, so I'm contented with where I am now. But I was dying, man. I was dying. It was so hot, and it was such a hard race. So now we're on lap 10, going into the first corner, and yeah, you have to just keep at it. Just make sure you don't try to keep as close as you can to the right and front. Ooh, one of these corners where that guy he was just pedaling through the corner, and his right pedal touched the ground. Nearly took me out as well, so glad he stayed upright though. And I was like safe. So now we're at the end of lap 12, going to the final corner. Sorry, the last corner of lap 12. And I was like in the middle of the pack-ish. I couldn't find my way to the front. So I was just riding behind this rider, staying on his wheel. Hope he doesn't leave the gap too big. But luckily he was strong enough to bring me back to the riders in front. My heart rate's at like 190-ish. Oh, I was dying, man. I was in so much pain. My mind was like, how can I sustain another 3 laps of this torture? So I was just moving up through the pack to hopefully get to the front. So now we're on the last lap of the race. The bell just rung, and the pace is high, and there were like 2 riders who tried to make an effort and break away from the pack. kind of pushed up the pace of the pack quite a bit, as you know, everyone's just like, oh shit, you know, can't let them get away, gotta chase them down. And typically stages on like the last 1 or 2Ks of the race, everything gets pretty nervous-ish, where everyone's just trying to fight for a good position, and like at the same time everyone's just like, oh, so shacked out. Or at least I was. So I was just trying my best to be as careful as I could to like not touch wheels, or like trying to see whether anyone is posing any danger to me, because I just hate losing some skin. Showering is a pain, sleeping is a pain. Yeah, I think it's just a pain for the next like 1 week. So now we're going to the last corner of the race. I'm 5th wheel, so I'm in pretty good-ish position to hopefully score 2 points, because I definitely am too far away to get past everyone here. So I'm just like sprinting, trying my best to get past like at least 2 riders, but oh wells, I didn't. And oof, I'm so glad I managed to finish this race upright. I was in so much pain right now, I felt I was gonna black out. But yeah, glad I managed to finish within the pack and didn't get dropped, you know. Gotta make my money's worth and finish all 15 laps. And thanks for watching.